Hey everyone, welcome to this month's Buy It Now auction. What's a Buy It Now auction? Well, what I do is I take a couple of items. This month I think I've got 5. And what I do is I put them up for sale for you guys. Now with each item I will give you a description, I will tell you the book values on the item, and I will put out a starting bid as well as bid increments. In order to bid, all you do is leave a comment for the item that you want to bid on with your bid price. The items will be up for 1 week. Bidding will end at Monday night / Tuesday morning at midnight, however you want to figure that, Central Standard Time. And whoever has the highest bid at that point will get the item. Now, generally speaking, I find a lot of these items on eBay, not all, but I find a lot of them on eBay, and I find them at great prices. Because I find such good deals, I want to pass along those good deals to you. So what I do is I also put a buy it now price. What that does is that guarantees that whoever walks away with the item is going to get it for a good price. I'm essentially capping the bidding. Okay, so if there's an item that's worth $100, I may start the bidding at 50 and have a buy it now price at 75. So even if you are the person buying it now at that highest possible price, $75, I know that you still got it for under the value of the note. That's kind of why I did it. If I can find stuff for a good price, how can I guarantee passing on that good price to you guys? And that's the way that I see it, so that's the way I'm going to do it. All right, like I said, for bidding, you simply leave a comment with the item number and your bid. Check back often to see if you're outbid or not. Generally what happens is a lot of the items will go for the buy it now price right away, and toward the end of the week, if nobody had bought a particular item, somebody may put a bid on the item at that point and get it for an even better deal. Either way, check back often to see if you put in a bid and see what's sold, see what's still available. And the auction ends, once again, Monday, midnight, Central Standard Time. All right, what else do we got? This is open to everyone in the U.S. and Canada, but I do have to make one slight change. Yes, I cover shipping, but if I have to send it to Canada, there are additional charges there. So I am going to ask that if I have to send an item to Canada, I will have to add a $5 shipping cost to the Canadian shipments just to help cover those fees. So hopefully that's still okay with you guys. Like I said, everything else, I cover all the shipping. Canada will just add a total of $5. Other than that, you don't have to worry. Now, how do you pay? That's the other thing. I accept PayPal. I accept Cash App. Good old-fashioned check or money order in the mail. That'll work as well. If you have another way you'd like to pay, when I contact you after the sale, just let me know, and we'll work something out that way. All right, so that's pretty much it for all the rules. Yeah. Also, you may have noticed that this is coming out at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm backing it up a little bit so that people on the West Coast don't have to set their alarm for 6 in the morning. So I'm trying to be a little bit more fair for everybody. All of my auctions are going to start at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, including the big Christmas auction. That will be November's auction. So we've got this being September, we've got the October auction, then after that, the Christmas auction in November. That's what you guys voted on, so that's what we're going to do. And boy, do I have some good stuff for that. All right, anything else? Let me think. I think that's everything. All right, let's get started this week. Also, as far as comments go, I'm usually really good about answering comments. If you leave comments other than bids in this particular auction, I probably will not answer them. I try not to answer any of the comments on the auctions so that all the comments remain up there for everyone to see. Sometimes YouTube's algorithms will move comments around and stuff, so I just want to make sure that I am not going to respond to any comments to this, with the exception of a buy it now. Somebody who puts down buy it now, whatever, I will respond to them and tell them how to contact me. All right, let's get started. Number 1 this week, item number 1. This is a 1928A $1 silver certificate. You can see the color on it's really good. It's got a lot of white showing on this. It does have a couple major folds. When I show you the back, you're going to see that, but the note itself is in really nice shape, with the exception of those folds. This 1928A $1 silver certificate, this is the funny back. Yeah. You should definitely have a funny back in your collection. Why is it called a funny back? Well, they switched over in 1935 to the standard back that we have now. So from 1935 on, some of these notes would still be in circulation. And as you would flip through, you'd occasionally spot this back that looked really different. So that's how it got known to be the funny back. People will say that this note looks like play money on the back. That's because the play money they're referring to is Monopoly money. Monopoly came out in 1928, 1929, somewhere around there. And they modeled their money after this design. So this does not look like play money. Play money looks like this design. Okay. On the back, it's much easier to see any damage on the note. You can see here it does have a very harsh fold here. And if you look, you do see the little whoop-de-doo there. Same thing on the bottom. Looking at this one, you can also see this hard fold right here. So I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. I'm trying to make sure that you can see every little bit. Looks like something little right there. But yeah, overall, the note is really nice, except for those creases that I put out there. So that's kind of a shame, because the rest of it is really nice. I mean, even if you look at the corners are real nice too. So yeah, note is really nice. With the exception of the two folds. In a VG8, this note books at $25. In a 20, you're talking somewhere around $35. I don't know if I said it. This is FR 1601. Okay, FR 1601 1928A funny back. Like I said, in VG8, you're talking $25. In a 20, you are talking $35. Starting bid on this note, 20 bucks. $1 increments, $20 for the starting bid, $1 increments. If you want to buy it now, 30 bucks and it's yours. So this one will go pretty quick, I'm pretty sure. So that one's number one. $20 on the bid, $1 increments, $30 buy it now. That was number one. Number two, this is a T42, Type 42 CSA, Confederate States of America. It is a $2 note. $2 notes from the Civil War. This was the first design for the $2 note. This particular one is pretty interesting. When I opened up my book on CSAs, they showed this note and they showed one just like it that was a contemporary counterfeit. A lot of these notes were counterfeited. These notes were heavily circulated at the time, so counterfeiting these actually affected the economy greatly. I went through all the markers in my book, and this one is not a counterfeit. This one is legit. One of the big points they issued was, I don't know if I can get this to show on here, but there is a period after Duncan, and I think you can see that on there. Yeah. Yep, you can see that on there. That period is not, that little dot is not on the counterfeits. So the point that it does say B. Duncan and has the period there, that is one of the telltale signs that this is the original. Anyway, $2, this is known as the Slayer note. Now, they did do another Slayer note that had a green overprint, and that one is a lot more rare. This is the more common version of the Slayer note. The note is hand-signed. You can see the signatures there, hand-numbered. You can see the numbers there. And it is June 2nd, 1862 is the date. Now, like I said, a lot of these did go through some circulation. You can see here, this one was most certainly heavily circulated, but still a cool note. Now, the lower denominations are the hard ones to find because they were circulated so much. So finding these in good shape is pretty tough. The T42 in a grade 8 starts off at about 45 bucks. In a grade 20, it works its way up to about 100. This is not a 20, but I think it's a little better than an 8. We're going to start the bidding on this at $35, and if you would like to buy it now, we'll go, $35, $1 increments. And if you want to buy it now, you can have it for $55. Now remember, all those buy it now prices also include shipping, so you don't have to worry about that. $35 on the bid, $1 increments, $55 on the buy it now. That is for item number 2, the T42 1862 $2 CSA. Number three is a Federal Reserve banknote. This is a Federal Reserve, you can see Federal Reserve banknote. Federal Reserve banknotes, there were national currencies. As you can see, this says national currency on it. Nationals were put out by individual banks that were given a charter number and the designation as a national bank. Those banks would put money on deposit with the Treasury and then have banknotes printed showing their bank as the ones backing the notes. This is a Federal Reserve banknote, which means the Federal Reserve Bank were the ones backing the notes. This particular one is the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, one of the smaller ones, one of the smaller Federal Reserves. So that alone makes it pretty cool. Now, this one is known as the Flying Eagle. As you can see on the back, it has the eagle soaring with an American flag in its talons. Really cool looking note. This one here is a little on the lighter side as far as grades go. This one is FR 738 from 1918. And as we look at it, you can see it does have a little bit of damage across the top. It does have quite a few folds, but everything on the note itself is still legible. You can see here, definite creases here, definite creases here. So this note has seen some stuff, but to have an example, looking at the back, hard creases, and then as you look closer, you can see there is a lot of smaller creases in there as well. Now, personally, I would call this note most likely a grade 8. That would be the grade on this particular one. In a grade 8, this note books out at about $90. A grade 20, for example, is $175. But even in a VG8, you're talking $90 for this note. I'm not asking $90 for this note. You can have this one starting bid of $60, $60, and it's yours. $1 increments, and if you wanted to buy it now, including shipping, we're going to go $85. So you're going to get it for under the VG8 price, and that includes shipping. So that is number 3, FR 738, the Federal Reserve banknote, $1 note from Kansas City. Number 4 this week, I have a graded note. I picked up another Gori test note. Now this one is cool. The Gori test notes, Gori came up with a new way to print where you would be printing 2 colors at the same time, or I should say multiple colors at the same time. And the BEP wanted to see how it would work, so they gave them some of the plates, and they obviously altered the plates so they couldn't be reused, but just so that Gori could show exactly what their print would look like. They only did it in a single color on this particular example, and this one has a blank back. Did get the EPQ designation. 67 EPQ, superb gem uncirculated is the grade on this particular note. Just a fascinating note. Now, when these were first printed back in the 70s, just a handful of these were ever made, and since they used real plates, technically these were considered counterfeit notes, even though they don't really show a denomination or a serial number. But because a real plate was used, it was technically illegal to own these. So these sat in the Gori family house forever. And then when they were made legal to own to collectors, that's when you started to see these. You can find these on eBay and at shows, depending on their grade. Anywhere from $200 for the ungraded or lower ones to I've seen as high as $850 at some shows. Of course, depending on the grade. There's actually three different varieties of these notes. This one grades at 67. I went on eBay to see what I could find for a 67, and the only 67 listed there for sale was at $375. I mean, yes, you can always check sold listings. The particular note here, like I said, this one's a 67. There's a lot of 66s, 65s, 63s out there that are slightly less. But this particular one is one of the higher grades that you're going to find. And I don't have to explain to you the difference between a 66 and a 67 when it comes to prices. Anyway, the Gori test note, this one's considered the blank front because this side is blank, and the most stuff that's on this side would be considered the back portion of the note. It's also the grass green version, which is the most common. But like I said, about $3.75 is the going rate for this particular grade. I am not going to be asking that for it. The bidding on this 67 is going to start at not $370, but $265. $265 for this 67. We're going to go $5 increments on this particular note. And so $265 is the starting bid. If you want to buy it now, once again, not talking $375. If you want to buy this note now, $299 and it's yours. So $265 on the bids, $5 increments, $299 and it's yours. That's the buy it now. That is number 4 this week. Number 5. This is one of the cooler items I stumbled across. Now, like I said, I find a lot of this stuff on eBay. Yeah, you can probably snipe some of this stuff from me. I mean, it's not hard to go on eBay to figure out, which stuff I bought and what I may have paid for it. The problem is I had to go through all the work to find it. So if you choose to go through all that work to find it, feel free to snipe me on eBay. Anyway, okay, what do I have for number 5? This is amazing. I didn't know if I wanted to sell this or not, because this is pretty cool. Check this out. This is a framed $6 note, okay? Where do I start with this? This is from the Continental Congress. If I turn it this way and we try to read it, you can see it says Continental Currency. And if we look at the date, November 2nd, 1776, $6. This bill entitles the bearer to receive 6 Spanish milled dollars or the value thereof in gold or silver according to a whatever, I can't read the rest of that because they're starting to use Old English, so you have S's or F's instead of S's. You can still make out the signature that's right here. You can see some of the serial numbers that are here. Now this is framed, and I don't want to say it's under glass, but you can see that if this isn't glass, it looks like it might be plastic, but it has that rougher edge to it. What that does is, as you can clearly see, it eliminates so much of the glare. It is mounted. You can see the cardboard mounting, and the note itself is inset. Now the note itself, you can see, yes, it's got the centerfold tear right there, and it's got some little pieces missing here. But that just looks so cool. It is fairly small. I mean, here's a standard $1 note, and if I put that on there, just to give you an idea of size, so the note itself is like that, and that's the frame that it's in. So just to give you ideas on how big that is, I didn't measure it. I probably should have. I will show you the back, and I will point out that there is no hook or anything on the back here to hang it. So you can change the frame if you like, or you can simply add your own device to hang it to display this. This is really cool. I didn't know if I wanted to get rid of this or not. Anyway, number 5, this is the number is CC51. CC meaning Continental Currency. Continental Currency came up through the Continental Congress. The guys that fought the Revolutionary War, the Founding Fathers guys, these guys. And it's a $6 bill, which is kind of an interesting thing. I'm just trying to figure out, just showing the center there, $6 once again. Just such a cool note. Now this note, the note itself in a grade 20 books out at $250. That's just for the note, okay? Obviously, the note isn't a 20, but the professional mounting of this note, what does it cost to professionally mount and frame anything? Okay. Even with all that being said, we are going to start the bidding at this at $150. We're going to go $5 increments. And if you want to take this home and put it on your shelf or hang it on your wall, $199 is the buy it now price. So $150 on the bid, $5 increments, $199 on the buy it now. And this could be hanging in your office. What a piece of history. 1776 $6 note, already framed and ready to go. So that is what I've got for this month's Buy It Now auction. If you see anything you like, remember, put your bids down in the comments. Put the item number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put your bid price, or put BIN if you want to buy it now. And I will contact you. You'll end up sending me an email with your shipping info and how you would like to pay. All right, guys, that's what I got for you this month. I look forward to see you bidding. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week.